All right, we are back for Week 12 matchup preview in the association. Um, Ready to make some picks, Killer?
Yeah, man. Let's figure this out, man. Let's get our algorithms going.
All right then. We've got to kick things off. My Great Danes will be playing the New York Clinic.
Mm.
What? This one, I'll just tell you right off the bat. I'm really not that confident in this matchup. No Joel Embiid for me. Still got Beasley out. Um, Kevin Love is back, but he's really not, and maybe never will be. Yeah, I'm really disturbed. On the positive side, though, I do have Karis LeVert, who has made a recovery, and I'm just want to give that guy a shout out, man. Man, this guy is coming back from kidney surgery, like removing a mass from his kidney. So congrats to him, man. That's my guy. Glad to see him back. And I think he'll be in my lineup next week actually, because his first game back, he had a decent game. Obviously, he was a little rusty, still getting his win, his win together. But I am encouraged by the amount of minutes he played. Played 32 minutes in his first game back. So I'm a happy camper seeing him in. So, but again, Joel Embiid went down. When Joel Embiid, I saw the play, my heart dropped because I was like, please don't do this to me. And I'm just talking about me, right? This is a guy's career. This is a guy's career. I'm talking about please don't do this to me. Like
That kind of reminds me of like when on Twitter, they'll put up updates like a player is kind of questionable, and folks will put in the comment section, well, can you let me know if he's gonna play today? It's like, yo, like, my man is dealing with something
dealing with
that
a
could
life-threatening
injuries, or they're dealing with health stuff going on, and it's just like,
yeah, man, this fantasy stuff has made people cold-blooded, man. Like, but um, maybe it's not too far off from how things already were anyway. So, but yeah, Joel Embiid being out concerns me. This team here has been firing on all cylinders. Russell Westbrook has been a monster. Nikola Vujacic, man, I can't say enough about that guy, man. I really want that guy on my team, man. But
yeah,
good luck with that, man. But
yeah.
anyway,
I think New York Clinic has done 0 trades over 8 years. So the probability is not in anyone's favor if they want to get any of the assets from this team. He's a ride or die type of fantasy owner.
yeah, the loyalty hasn't paid off yet, but maybe one day it will. John Morant is not where he was last season, but he's still scoring the ball well, and he still looks good after being out for the first part of the year. Fred VanVleet not being in the lineup kind of gives me a little bit of hope, but after what they did in their last matchup to Frankfurt, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about what this team can do. So, with that said, though, I'm still gonna, I'm still gonna root for my team. What do you think about it, Smash?
Man, to be honest, man, I chose the brand. I chose the experience. I chose what I know, and I'm not gonna lie, the numbers aren't too kind to the Gotham Danes, but I've seen you battle through worse, and I've seen you beat some giants, in some improbable ways. So I think you'll get it done. I don't know how. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a testament to what you've done, as a franchise.
Well, good luck to us, man. But like I said, I'm not that confident. Speedsters heading to Frankfurt, taking on the 17ers. Um, who do you like in this matchup?
Man, I got a front row view of what the speedsters can potentially be, and I can tell you, man. I don't really like that Michael Porter guy, but I mean, as you alluded to, the guy's starting to put up some numbers, right? And so, you got Shea, which is playing great. Nurk's, still not in the lineup, but he should be, you know, eventually, right? But I don't think he's needed, that much, mainly because on the other side you've got the 17ers, which has got DeAndre Ayton, which looks like a shell of himself. And he's not putting up the stats that you would expect, especially with Chris Paul, leading that team. And then on the speedsters, if Jamal Murray, can get it going and he puts together a string of good games, then I think this matchup should be easily in the speedsters' favor. Um, yeah, so overall, I think the speedsters has finally looks like they're getting over the health bug, and they are going to be a tough team to beat. I think they can get it done, especially if OG Anunoby is out, for the week as well.
Yeah. OG, I believe, is said he's actually not hurt. He's been missing games due to the protocol, and
Mhm.
there is some belief that he could be back next week. So if he is back, they're gonna, let's be honest, the 17ers are gonna need a lot more than just OG to win this matchup. They're gonna need guys like Lonzo Ball to not play the way they did last week. Um, and tonight Lonzo came out and played well against the Clippers. Five threes, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Um,
Mm.
they need more of that. And then same thing with his rookie Patrick Williams. And you hate to rely on a rookie right now for this type of thing, but Patrick Williams played as well as anyone did tonight, and they're going to need more of that because Anthony Edwards also has been playing very well for them. Tonight he had 34 points with six threes. Um, but getting a few guys back from injury like Markkinen and even having somebody like Wendell Carter in the lineup might be able to help pad the stats of DeAndre Ayton because DeAndre's been up and down. He had a streak where he looked like he was coming into his own, and people got really really excited. But he's really been inconsistent, like you already mentioned. So I'm Chris Paul again also has to play well, and yeah, and Fox for this team has been good. He's not on this graphic here, but uh, uh, Fox is on this team, and he's been excellent, scoring probably averaging like over pretty much like 30 points, and I don't know, probably like 10 assists,
Mhm.
7 rebounds over his last 3 games, shooting very efficiently too. Um, Free throws is still a little bit of a struggle, but even that he hasn't been terribly bad. So he's getting all the minutes that he can handle on this Kings team, and he can be a difference maker. So I went with the 17ers in this matchup, man. I think if all those things happen, and I know that's a lot of things, but if all those things happen, um, they'll have a tough time with Amherst, but I think they could pull it out um, if all things go well for them.
Yeah, this is a great way to get a good look at, 2021, 2022 preview, some teams that are going to be, I predict, fighting for a key or a top playoff spot.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Two young teams battling it out. A lot of rookies on display, and a lot of young talented players. Um, Bombers and King's Landing. Um, I, the Kings kind of let us down last week, and the Bombers played as well as you would expect them to play, even without Christian Wood and Kevin Durant in the lineup. Um, my senses are that Christian Wood could be back very soon. Have you heard anything about Durant?
He's out for the next game. No real updates, so I would say probably out another week or so.
Okay.
So I don't foresee both of those guys being in the lineup unless we get an update for Wood sometime tomorrow.
Yeah.
He should be out there, but Houston's trying to lose games, so
Right.
it's going to be a lot of games being played.
Yeah, and same thing with the Kings. They had Bam out. I don't know when he'll be back. Aaron Gordon made an appearance this week. So he could potentially end up in the lineup. But even with that, I mean, I think I don't think it's a stretch to think that the Bombers should be able to win this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should escape with another 5-4, but I mean, you kind of never know. Like every time we try to, say Kings Landon is out of it, like he just surprises us. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if he pulled off this victory. He's got the pieces, he's got the talent. Do you know what the deal is with Bradley Beal? Because like he sat out a game or something, and I wasn't tracking
he has some knee soreness. So he sat out Saturday's game. I don't think it's anything serious. He's probably just, he expends so much energy trying to get that team into its offense. It's like, he's bound to need some rest at some point. So I think that's all it was. I think it was just a rest game for him. He should be in the lineup and back and ready to play this week. And maybe to your point, maybe that him being worn down is a little bit of a reason why last week, even though he put up some numbers, he really didn't shoot it that well. Had a couple of games where, we're talking about, 39%, 27% shooting in games in LA and Memphis. So they were on a little road trip and he put up some points, but it really wasn't that great. And it looked like Washington was going on a streak at one point, but it's really only one win. Really, their last 6 games, they've only won like one game, and that was against the Clippers. So it's been pretty quiet for them since then. So yeah, he should be okay. He should be back. LaMelo and Steph will be in lineup as always, and he's getting good contribution from people like Dylan Brooks and Jalen Brunson. So they could make it close. So maybe it'll be another nail biter like it was this week for King's Landing. So, but I went with Bombers, and so did you know. Celtics and True Grit.
Ain't nothing true about that grit right now. Like that team is just it's going down fast. And you know, they're going against the wrong team. You know, Bentown Celtics is one of the hottest teams. I know they're just coming off a loss, right? But I mean, it was a reasonable loss, and they still put up a lot of numbers. So I think this is gonna get ugly really quick. Um, Bentown Celtics, man.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I was having hope that Anthony Davis and JJJ would be back soon, and right now it looks like they're gonna miss at least a couple more weeks. So, um, there's nothing really to talk about in this matchup other than let's see what happens with Luca and Devin Booker and Zion and Kander. Um, they're just gonna keep doing what they've been doing, I think. So, should be a pretty easy one for the Celtics here. Your matchup, Brooklyn Phoenix
Phoenix.
taking on DameStop.
Man, this is prime time basketball. This is close enough to like a matchup of the week. You know, both teams are healthy, which you don't really get to see. We got a full slate of games, so games played, shouldn't be the story here. But I think my team is doing what it takes to give the categories and stats that we need, in each of these matchups. And I think we should have enough firepower to beat the Dame stop. I know this is going to be a revenge game for two guys in Plumlee and Bagley. I'm looking to see what those guys do in our matchup. But this is also, an opportunity for me to, close the door on Brooklyn feet on Dame Stop's chance or opportunity to make the playoffs, and increase my chances of a higher or lottery pick at that. So I think we'll do what it takes. This is looking like a 5-4. Like I don't see us, coming away with a 7-2 or an 8-1 or anything like that. 6-3 would take like some games missed or Karl Anthony Towns taking it to another level. But yeah, I mean, in a 5-4, we get a 5-4, GameStop is done. The clock is gonna stop running.
Yeah, I mean, this is like you said, going to be our first time seeing Brooklyn Phoenix healthy. Same thing with DameStop. These teams both fully healthy. Capella has been missing some games. He missed his game tonight, and then he had a earlier game in this past week's matchup that he missed. But other than that, you guys are like you said, has a full slate of games and have enough talent to make this interesting. Tell me a little bit about TJ McConnell, because TJ McConnell has been interesting for your team. He's been doing some wild stuff.
he had a triple double with steals.
Steals, right?
He had nine steals in the first half against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is before the All-Star break. Before the All-Star break, but in the past week 11. Yeah, man, he's doing work. I will say I'm now concerned now that LeVert's back, as far as what his minutes are going to be. His last game or two haven't been good, but he's also been hurt. I know his minutes tick down a little bit, but he's usually good for 5+ assists and a couple of steals. So he wasn't able to get it the last couple of games, but I'm chalking it up to injuries. And, he's actually one of the guys where I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be playing him this week. So
Yeah, and
that's gonna be a tough.
yeah, and good news for you too, right? You got Devontae Graham coming back, so
Mm-hmm.
if you don't play McConnell, I'm sure it'll be probably a substitution for he or either Kendall Johnson didn't play this week, right? So you got some options and looking pretty good. So I think we both went with your team for this matchup, and I think it's possible, but we'll see, man. You can never count out this Dame Stock team. Rucker Park and the Titans of San Juan play. Rucker Park is now, after this past week, officially a playoff team again, and looking to continue building on the success that they've been racking up lately. But the Titans have been pretty tough these last couple of weeks too. What you see anything interesting happening in this matchup?
Oh, I want the Titans to win just to make it interesting. But it's wishful thinking, right? Like we all like a little bit of stress, a little bit of sweat, right? Um, but I mean, Rucker Park's just got so much firepower, and now he's covering almost every category. I will say it won't be a blowout, mainly because the Titans are pretty strong in blocks. They're pretty strong in rebounds.
Yep.
They can shoot the three, right? So that's three categories there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can pick up turnovers. That's a fourth one. Fifth one, maybe one of the percentages, right? So I think Titans will get four categories. It's just that fifth one, right? And so this is a lot closer than what the standings are doing it good justice to to kind of line up the teams. But I think this is a 5-4, more than likely Rucker Park. But I could see the Titans winning. Wishful thinking. I wouldn't put any money on it, but it could happen.
Yeah, I agree completely with what you're saying. I think when it comes down to some of those defensive stats, the Titans look really strong in those areas. And then the way they shot the ball this past week, if Buddy Hield keeps playing like that, and then Spider Mitchell has been pretty good too. They've got a chance that they could upset someone. I'm just not, like you said, I'm just not gonna bet on it being this week. But I think it could be close, like you said. I'm going with Rucker Park. Cranston against Syracuse. Cranston getting a break this week, man. They look like they need it. It's
definitely need it.
Yeah, it's a good chance that they won't have to substitute D'Angelo Russell or I forget the other guy that's hurt in their lineup, but I guess they could leave him in. Was it Pascal? Yeah, Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, Pascal.
Pascal Siakam.
And he might come back, right?
He might come back.
I mean, he's out because of health and safety, I think, as well. So.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at the lineup of Syracuse, and DeJounte Murray's got some games, and Jeremy Grant's having a great season, a borderline all-star. DeLon Wright has been stepping it up, but I just don't see any way around this team right now. I think with the malpractice of Cranston Killers, maybe they make it slightly interesting and close, but most likely not, right? I don't think there's enough going on here to really suggest that Syracuse is going to win this matchup at all.
Certainly. It's like, can they minimize the damage? It's all about damage control for the Syracuse Sparrows, but maybe they don't want damage control, right? To increase their odds at a higher pick.
You're right. They're playing a different game at this point, and they're trying to make sure they lock up that top 3 pick. So is what it is. We'll move on to the Midtown Money Man taking on the surging Solid State.
Mm.
This is a fun matchup, man. One that I kind of had to really think about, but what was your thoughts on this one?
This one is prime time, man. Like, I went back and forth with both the teams, man, and really the way that I decided who was gonna win, I said, how many games does the Joker have? Because man, he's just been incredible. Um, I wish I would have spent a little bit more time to figure out what the comparison to as far as James Harden's games, but man, Joker's on a mission, man, and I just think you got him going. You've got a strong chance against most of the teams in this league. Um, and I saw some weaknesses, in the Solid State's game when I was looking at like some of his 3-point performance from the previous week. But to your point in the recap of week 11, he's got Marcus Smart back, right? And so, that could potentially shift the scale. So yeah, it's gonna be a very close matchup. I was going back and forth, but essentially I went with who I think is the favorite right now to win the MVP, uh, the Joker, and he plays for the money man.
Yeah, I could understand that. For me, I think what it boiled down to was, yeah, looking at the fact that Joker is playing 4 games this coming week. But on the looking at the Solid States team, um, you know, who can really match up with Jokic right now? Arguably no one, right? But Sabonis has been a triple double threat for this past week or so, and we know how he gets down. He's got the assists, he's got the rebound, and he's got the points. He's been playing very well this past week and a half, and really putting up numbers that really can compete with Joker. It's not a real life comparison, just looking at their stats over this past week or so. That tells me they have the ability to keep up with what the Money Man can do on this matchup. And then, as you mentioned, you got a guy like Marcus Smart coming back. He's going to add something to the lineup. James Harden, 4 weeks, 4 game week coming up.
Oh,
That's gonna do it for me. I think when you have the
yeah.
combination of Harden and Sabonis doing, basically being triple double alert every game, I think I
Well,
think should be able to
you
do
know,
it.
let's not skip over DeRozan. DeRozan is dangerous, although I don't know what his
Rosen,
situation is because they
yeah,
they might
exactly.
be trading him or something suspects going on because he's like
Well,
missing games.
he's missing games. His father just passed,
Oh, damn.
a few games ago.
Condolences, man.
So he has missed a couple of games over the course of last couple of weeks, but um, so I think he's still dealing with some of that, probably taking care of the family and handling some logistics around the passing. But um, he potentially should be back sometime during their road trip. And yeah, you're right. You can't count on DeRozan, but we don't know what is going to come of how many
Mhm.
games that means he's going to miss or how many he's going to actually play. And then you look at guys like Victor Oladipo. They need Victor Oladipo to have a strong game and
Sure.
have a strong week, I should say. And he shows the propensity to miss at least a game or two.
He's
Um,
gonna he's gonna miss like he's the maximum amount of games he'll play in a week is 3 because they're not gonna play him in any back to backs. Right.
yeah,
So
and then
so to
also
your
I
point,
think
like that's
trying to
that's a
trade him.
true weakness.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they are going to try to trade him. The same thing with DeRozan, right? Like he may be on. He's probably on the block as well. We already saw LaMarcus Aldridge is gone.
Stay
Uh,
home. It cracks me up. You just stay in your home. Don't go outside. Train and be ready. But we're trying to find you a new home.
so so
Imagine your employer told you that. Well, I guess it'd be okay if you was getting paid. I just now that I think about it, it's like
yeah, that's okay with
I
me.
guess that's true. That's true. You getting paid. It's one thing if you're not getting paid, and your employer to tell you that. But
Don't come
yeah,
in.
I
Okay.
didn't think about that. All
Yeah.
right, don't worry.
Yeah, the one thing that could swing this though for the money man, because you're not wrong about the money man, is if McCollum comes back next week, because McCollum seems to think he's going to come back next week, and if that happens, I mean, obviously, but that's a big decision for Midtown,
Mm,
whether they put him in the lineup or not and take that risk, because who do you take out if you if you are putting McCollum in the lineup? You take out Robert Covington, you take out, you know, Oladipo, Tim Hardaway. I don't know. I think you need all the firepower you can provide. Seeing as though, you know, the solid state over here has got all his studs in a row, and they could light it up. But the other advantage that I didn't mention also was the games played. There are a few more games played than for Midtown, and they do have an advantage in that respect. But if guys miss games, then what does it matter anyway? So,
matter.
so I went with Solid State for this matchup. You went with Money Man. I think it's going to be a close one. It could go either way. So we'll see what happens. That's going to be a matchup to watch. Probably the matchup of the week, man. I think that's going to be a great one to watch. Two high octane teams, top
Hmm.
five teams, really battling.
Playoff preview, right? Like that's potential. Semifinals.
Could be a semifinals, could be a finals. I don't know
Mm.
what the bracket is looking like right now, but two teams that definitely should people should be afraid of, and don't really want to see in that in the playoffs. Not too early anyway. Um, yeah, man. Well, that those are all our picks. Any final thoughts on either the week coming up or previous or previous week?
Just want to let owners know the trade deadline's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Hmm.
You know,
What's
a
the
lot
date
of
for that?
I don't have the exact date. I think it's like right around the
The real
20th, but give
10
me
days
one
in the real
second.
NBA, right?
Hmm?
The real NBA trade deadline's in 10 days.
Oh, it
I
was in
don't
10
know what it
days.
is in
Okay.
fantasy, but I don't know what it is in fantasy, but in real life, we're talking about 10 days. So teams is gonna start getting hot. Um, I guess who's a couple of names that you think could be on the move in the NBA and that could have some real fantasy implications.
Well, two names, which is definitely gone. Andre Drummond, LaMarcus Aldridge. Drummond, depending on where he goes. I mean, even Aldridge. Aldridge might, have a chip on his shoulder, right? And,
Hmm.
and be trying to prove something.
Yeah.
Um,
So let's start with Drummond. Is if Drummond moves, I don't know if they're gonna find a deal for him. But if he gets bought out, let's say,
a team that's got cap space, right? To facilitate a deal.
I know a couple teams that have cap space.
Yeah, one of them, you're rocking their hat right now. And I feel like the Knicks are gonna get involved in something. I mean, they're they're sitting pretty. They got money that they need to spend. um,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, that could be.
they're my top pick to get frisky.
That could be. Boston has some money that they can absorb some cap. I don't know if they'll do it for a guy like Drummond, but Um, with a couple of guys. What about LaMarcus Aldridge? What do you think about Aldridge making his way to Boston? Is that something that you think would help?
I don't know, man. It's tough, but I just don't know what LaMarcus Aldridge is, unfortunately, because
Mm.
the Spurs have been one of the most polarizing teams the last couple of years with him. Like, one day I watch him and I'm like, yo, Marcus
How
Aldridge is playing
how strange would it
defense.
be? How strange would it be if he ended up back in Portland?
Oh, that'd be really strange. That'd be really strange. Because I feel like he said some stuff on the way out too.
Yeah, it
Don't
wasn't.
quote me.
Yeah, I
Like
don't.
I don't remember. I don't remember being pretty.
Yeah, I don't think it was like amicable. Amicable. Like it was definitely some a little bit of beef on the way out. I
Mhm.
feel like there was some things said that uh, people weren't happy. Um,
Yeah.
we already saw Blake Griffin on the Nets. We didn't get to comment on that, but
Oh
how
yeah.
do you feel about that?
Blake. As I said in some early drafts, Blake was, focused on his TV and show business.
Yeah, he got a
A
new
lot of
show
a lot
coming
of
out.
a lot of people thought I was joking when I said that, but I heard him on a podcast and he was talking about that stuff more than he was talking about his career with
Are
the
you gonna are you
Detroit
gonna are you gonna watch
Pistons.
his are you gonna watch his show? Like
Hell yeah, watch the show. It looked pretty good. It looked pretty
yeah, yeah.
good.
Blake's
Like,
a Blake's
yeah,
an entertaining guy.
Blake's solid.
Yeah,
Yeah, Blake's
he's a pretty
solid.
entertaining guy. But what do you think he's gonna do for the Nets?
I think he's just gonna be another. He's gonna be another depth piece, another guy that's a veteran, understands how to play ball, understands the guys. Right, he's played with a bunch of these guys before. Um, he's just gonna be a great contributor, right? Like you need these guys on the roster, right? A lot of people are like, oh, he's not the Blake of old. I'm like, it don't matter, man. Sam Cassell wasn't the Sam Cassell of old when the Celtics grabbed him, right? Like
Mhm.
it's not about that, and a lot of people don't really understand that. It was like all the junk when people were talking about there's only one basketball. How are the Nets gonna figure this out? It's
Yeah,
like they
he's
they don't give they don't give these guys credit for being smart. Like,
yeah. And
like it
What Blake will
really
do,
obvious.
what Blake will do is be a good playmaker for them. And he'll be just an extra guy like that you can't leave open or you can't like sag off on defense. Um, and you can't underestimate the basketball experience and skill that he brings to the team. So if he, I don't know how much of a lob threat he is anymore, but you know that's something that you got to look out for with DeAndre, and maybe him and DeAndre start to feel like you know it's Lob City again, and I don't know, maybe not, but
So
um,
his comments exactly was, during like an interview, was he's basically going to fill in the gaps. Like he's like, I've played this role, points in my basketball career. Like this is nothing new. And so he's going to figure out what the team needs and just fill in there, right? Like he's not going to come in there like, I need this and this and this. And I think that might be what's rubbing people wrong with uh, um, DeMarcus Cousins.
mm,
Like, cause it's like shocking to me that he hasn't found a place, but he also reminds me of a dude that's like, I want to get, 10 possessions. I want to play this amount of time. And team's not trying to hear that if you're competing.
so
It's like, you
yeah,
do
so
this.
which kind of team would has the patience for something like that right now? Like,
Exactly.
who wants to deal with that?
Exactly. Because I
Um,
think he's got more talent, and it's tough for me to say more to offer because of all the injuries, and I really don't know what he looks like because Houston, you can't really judge the Houston basketball that you see.
maybe
Um,
maybe we see him back on Golden State. I don't know. Uh,
that's interesting, right? That Golden State didn't even, and he gave him some quality minutes.
yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
but but yeah, they know more of what's going on or whatever it is that they were running
yeah.
to.
Or maybe
facilitate.
LA. Maybe if they don't, maybe if LA doesn't end up with Drummond
Mhm.
or some other big guy that they're looking to add, maybe Cousins becomes an option for them.
What do you think about Drummond on the Lakers? What do you
Hmm.
think about the Lakers just in general?
Um, I think there'll be a different team in the playoffs.
Mhm.
I think by the time playoffs come around, you know, it'll be time for them to start punishing people.
All right, I'm gonna say this live and on camera. What day is it? It's uh it's officially March 15th, 2021.
Oh,
We are gonna see the decline of LeBron James in the playoffs.
ooh,
We're gonna see the decline.
ooh.
He's, I mean, it's not gonna be a steep descent, but it's gonna be noticeable, and we're gonna be like, damn.
Well, it's supposed to be the Anthony Davis show right now, right? So the bigger question is Anthony Davis gonna snap into it? Is he gonna recover from his injury and get back into being dominant? That's the question for me. LeBron, the Father Time never loses, but LeBron's putting up a great fight, right? But
Oh yeah, one of the best of
at
all
some
time
point he's
at
gotta
his age.
he's gotta throw his hands up and say, "Yo, this is all you now."
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean that could very well happen. But it doesn't. If Anthony Davis plays like Anthony Davis, then maybe it doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah, I'm really concerned about Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant as well. This is more injury
Mhm.
perspective. Like, yeah, I just don't know what those guys are gonna look like, when they put playoff minutes on those bodies.
Mm.
Because they're both dealing with like some soft tissue stuff. Um, and I don't know, those things always seem to come back up. We unfortunately didn't get to see if LeBron James would have had some issues that year that he didn't make the playoffs with LA. Like he had the groin injury, re-injured it, was out longer. Um, it would have been interesting to kind of see how he would have looked in the playoffs, or if he would have re-aggravated or done something.
Mhm.
Because I mean, it's easy to say it now, right? But I think the time off did his body well,
Mhm.
because he might have pushed it a little bit too early or too quickly, given recovering from the groin injury.
Give me I'm gonna rapid fire a couple of names or
Mhm.
situations. Tell me what your snap pick reaction is. Victor Oladipo, does he get moved, and if so, to what team?
Moved. I'll just go with the Miami Heat. I mean, I don't know where, but I think moved Miami Heat.
Not a bad location. Tristan Thompson, do you think he is permanently fixed on being on Boston?
No, he could possibly get moved to like the Lakers or the Nets. I could see that happening. So, some type of contender, that wants a guy that can stretch the defense, can switch, grab rebounds, has played championship basketball.
Will Atlanta trade John Collins, and who is the biggest buyer on the market ready to take on Mr. Collins?
Mm,
Who's fiending to get
They
John Collins?
they will trade John Collins, given the Atlanta history. They will trade him, um, to where, and I don't know, man. Maybe some small market team. Choose your favorite small market team.
Minnesota?
uh, Minnesota. The
I hear
Pelicans.
they're
Does it make
interested.
sense on the Pelicans? No. Like,
I hear Minnesota's interested in John Collins. They
for
probably,
who?
I don't know.
They're
They
gonna
probably
give up
would.
the
They got a
Cat's
couple. They got
best
a
friend.
couple. They got a couple of young guys that they might that might be interesting to Atlanta? Jaden McDaniels, maybe Vanderbilt. I don't know. Jared Culver. Jared Culver really hasn't been.
The,
Um,
can you imagine that the Collins? I mean, the cat in Collins. That sounds like Swiss cheese, man. Barbecue chicken.
yeah,
you
probably,
know, that's just
probably,
that's not a
but
good look, man.
not a good look. But if you're Minnesota, can you pass? Can you really pass up on talent?
Minnesota doesn't pass up on anything, man. You don't get that option. You click
Um,
right here, click accept. It's like, when someone sends you a deal, it's just like, man, just click accept, man. You got no chance. No one's trying to come there. Just click accept.
the Knicks, will they add another piece before the deadline? And who do you think they should target if they do?
Uh, they will add. Actually, I don't know. I gotta think about that. That's a really tough one. Because I don't remember Tibbs' history as far as like adding players and trading players during the season and what his philosophy is. Because I feel like he's kind of in the driving seat as far as managing that roster.
Well, you remember when he
Um,
made the Jimmy Butler move, right?
ah, I forgot about his Minnesota tie. I was only thinking about him in Chicago. That's a good point.
He just brought
Is
in
he?
Derrick Rose, by the way.
Yeah, but Derrick Rose, right? That's player coach, his buddy, right? Like been
But if he
going
can get
way
a if
back.
he can get a bigger name, do you think he does? He think he won't do it?
I don't know. He's not really there for a name. He's just there for guys that work really hard.
Well, that's what
Guys
I'm
that
saying.
works really hard and is obedient.
Yeah, I phrase that incorrectly, but
Okay.
not the necessary name value, but if there's a guy out there that just like, oh yeah, I gotta this guy has a reputation for being great, and he's actually a great but high priced player. Um, I don't
I
know.
mean,
I
uh,
personally I don't really see what the move would be. I don't see who the Knicks would want to bring in at this point and trade any kind of assets for, but I don't know.
what if Lonzo Ball, made its way onto the Knicks desk? Give him whatever they want.
Bring him here.
Oh
We'll take
my
him.
goodness. I can't believe
Yeah,
teams
yeah.
were not taking him serious, man.
So to
Gotta
that point, that's a good name. Does Lonzo get moved? They were talking about moving him early in the year, and he caught wind of it. It kind of simmered down for a while. Will New Orleans move Lonzo Ball?
is he restricted? If he's restricted,
I
then
think
I'm gonna
he.
say if he's restricted, I'm gonna say no.
I
Um,
think I think he might be restricted, but don't quote me on that one.
yeah. Um, I say they probably move Brandon Ingram if they can. I just don't know what they can get in return.
They just signed that man to like a 5-year max.
Exactly, the perfect time to move him, man. Him and Zion don't work together, man.
Mmm.
Right?
Tasty.
You got to choose somebody to be alpha, right? And arguably, maybe it should be. Actually, no, because Zion is just unstoppable. Like he shoots like 60% from the field. Like any shot that he's not, any opportunity he's not getting to score the ball is a loss. Like literally, you just want him surrounded. I mean, you want to treat him like LeBron. Like you want him surrounded around guys that just shoot threes. Why Lonzo is just an excellent fit around him.
So that's the
And you
thing.
want him to be a playmaker.
So yeah, so
But
you
Brandon Ingram's a playmaker too.
yeah, you hit it on the head. I think they need to the Pelicans definitely need to add some more shooting to their lineup. Right now they just don't have enough, especially around the Zion and um I'm forgetting. Oh, Steven Adams. Like,
Steven.
nah, they got to do
Yeah.
something about that. All right. Well, that was enough rapid fire, man. We'll end it off right there. We appreciate y'all listening. And hope we get some feedback from y'all. Leave a comment, give a like, share it with your friends, man. Share it with your fellow association uh, colleagues and let them know we talking about them, man. We talking crazy about them. Yeah,
And
man.
let us know what you want to hear. There's something, that's going on around the league, or, there's some hot take you'd like us to discuss. Let us know.
Yeah, and pretty soon, man, we're gonna be calling y'all up, man. We want to get y'all in on the show, and we want to do some live interviews. You know what I'm saying? We want to do some hear about your team. We want to see what you got cooking and what you thinking and how your season you feel like your season's coming together. So next week, actually, we'll probably do a power rankings episode. I think we're due for one. But until then, you guys enjoy your week. Good luck to everyone, and have a good night.
Peace out, guys.